Welcome to the first amendment of the brand new podcast that we're bringing here to you on this YouTube channel. It's going to involve me, Lee and Aaron. Me and my father Lee are the two people who run this YouTube channel. Aaron is a local here in China who has been living in Shenzhen for the past 12 years. We're going to be aiming between probably around 20 to 30 minutes for these podcasts. Understandably, a lot of you won't want to sit and watch us talk for that long. So what we're going to be doing is uploading these podcasts to several different platforms. So you'll be able to find them on Spotify podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play Music. Then you can listen to them in the car or whilst you're doing chores or homework, or it's much more accessible. But if you're happy to stick around and watch our pretty faces for that long, then that's great too. For those of you that are here for other types of videos revolving life in China and you're not too interested in the podcast, long form conversation type videos, we're going to clearly segregate these China Talk episodes from the rest of the videos on our channel so that we can attend to every kind of audience. There's always something on this YouTube channel for you. The first episode is going to be discussing dating and the societal influences revolving dating that are massively different here to in the Western world. So hopefully you enjoy the first episode of China Talk. Make sure you leave some feedback if you like these episodes on what you'd like us to talk about in future episodes. Drop a like because it really helps us out, and subscribe if you haven't already, because there's going to be loads of different types of content on this channel and there's bound to be something that you don't want to miss. Enjoy. And we're live.
Okay, go on, you're going to do the introduction. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so we'll just start off by introducing ourselves and what we're each doing here in Shenzhen.
Okay, I'm Lee. I've been coming to China for 12 years. In that 12 years, I've probably spent 7 or 8 years permanently here.
I'm Oli. I've only been in Shenzhen for 2 months, but I also live here permanently at the moment.
Hi, this is Aaron. I've been living in China for most of my life and I moved here 12 years ago.
I'm interested because I've sort of seen and heard that in the dating culture here, money is kind of an important factor, whereas in the UK it's kind of not a factor at all. But I see a lot of girls here and they're single, and it's because they've got this vision that they want a rich guy. So tell us a bit more.
It's pretty common here nowadays here in Shenzhen or in China. Girls, they're looking forward to having a rich boyfriend or a rich husband. It's pretty common here. I think nowadays people around me, girls are all like this. Most of the girls are like this.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of difficult for guys to, if you've got like a normal job, you're not rich, to find a girlfriend. I just find it strange that there's so many girls who seem quite attractive in their mid to late 20s who don't have boyfriends. Is this the reason?
Usually girls, like you said, girls who have a decent job and pretty high salary, they think they deserve a way better boyfriend or husband than themselves. So that's the reason. And as far as I know, a lot of people, they tell me that girls in England, they don't really care about money when they're dating a boy. So I really want to know that, is that true that in your country, girls, they're pretty chill with money?
I'd say from my own experience and growing up in the culture in England, I know that that's definitely something that won't be brought up, especially early on within dating or a relationship. Even it will be quite often that they'll get together in a relationship and still not know, or they might have a little idea, but they won't know the exact figures of what the other person
That's
makes.
interesting, because here in China, the first thing they're going to talk about is the money talk. What do you do? What's your job? How much money can you make a month?
So are we talking sort of first, second date territory, or this is what they talk about as soon as they meet, or is it first date conversation, or?
Nah, girls usually they won't do that very directly. Mm-hmm. They'll try before they date a guy. they'll try to know the information about this guy before they go there.
Surveillance.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
So if the girl finds
Background
out,
information.
yeah, if the girl she finds out that this guy is not really rich, or she won't go there. She will just tell him an excuse that, hey, I'm busy tomorrow,
Okay.
and she will never show up.
So this obviously must put a lot of pressure on young men.
Sure. I mean, young men nowadays in China, they're really, really stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because like people like me, I met my girlfriend in my university.
Uh-huh.
So at that time, people usually in school, girls, they're not that obsessed with money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was lucky that I got my girlfriend. But here in the society, people like my age, if they're trying to get a girlfriend, they have to be really, really rich, or at least they have to have a great job and
So
fancy cars.
where does this sort of thinking in the girls' heads come from? Where are they getting this kind of thinking from?
What do you think?
Do you think is it maybe it must be some sort of influence from parents and grandparents of some sort? I would have thought.
Is it the same in the UK that your parents or grandparents, they will give you some suggestion that, okay, you should date this girl, you should date that
Absolutely
girl?
not.
No, that kind of almost doesn't even come into the question.
Yeah, families don't get involved at all.
It's more like they will find out afterwards, and then they will make their own judgments. And even if their judgments are that they don't like them, I think a lot more parents wouldn't be so vocal about it, because they'd be their main interest would be in their daughters or sons' happiness themselves. Maybe if it was a really bad situation, they'd voice their opinion, but I think it's much more down
How
to
do you
them.
define the really bad situation?
If they knew they were like, a real sort of low life, they were never, not sort of the type of person at all in a social or economic stance that they'd want their son or daughter going out with, then they might voice their opinion a little.
I see that families really get a lot more involved in relationships here. I know a guy, and he's a kind of nice guy. He hadn't got a girlfriend. His mom keeps, when are you going to get a girlfriend? When are you going to get a girlfriend? Then she'd introduced him to a few girls, and he wasn't really keen on the girls his mom introduced him to.
Mm-hmm.
Then he eventually found a girlfriend, and at the point he took her home to meet his mom. His mom's not happy. Why? Because they're from Guangdong and she's not from Guangdong. And I think the poor guy, he's finally got a girlfriend he likes, but now his mom's not happy about that.
Yeah.
Why would that be?
I don't know, man. That's probably because the guy he doesn't really have a work, so he has to rely on his mom's finance help.
Right.
Support. So that's why he has to listen to his parents.
Say, for example, what if a guy is growing up and he gets to about 25 and he doesn't, or 25, 30, and he doesn't yet have his own apartment, or doesn't have a bank load of cash that he can, help fund his girlfriend's wishes or whatever. Is he gonna find it hard to find someone, or?
To be honest, is different from person to person.
Of course.
I mean, if he's lucky, if that guy's lucky, and he has found the true love, and the girl really loves him, so this can make a good match.
Mm-hmm.
But this situation happens rarely here in China nowadays. Because let's say this guy is not that rich and he has found a girlfriend, and the girl really loves him, but when the girl tells her parents about this, and here comes the problem. Her mom will probably say no to this guy.
Pressuring the
Yeah.
girl to ditching.
Yes, yes, yes. And the parents usually they want their daughter to get a rich boyfriend, so that they don't need to worry about their life after their marriage.
Yeah, I experienced this when I was up in Shanghai. I know a girl there. Actually, she used to work at the office I had, and she'd been together with this guy since school, like 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to get married, but this guy was from quite a poor family. Her family were not rich, but I think they were almost like counting the money they were going to get for their daughter's wedding before they'd even got it. And because this guy family didn't have money, they forbid her from marrying him. And then they found her this other guy, which she didn't really love, and she was almost like forced into marrying him. But she was pretty unhappy. Actually, she ended up leaving him sort of 18 months after they got married, because she just didn't have any feeling at all for him, but she'd been forced into it by her family.
Yeah, it happens a lot nowadays in China that the men and women, they don't really love each other, but they were forced to get married.
Yes.
Okay, but here people always think that after marriage all the problems will be solved automatically.
Right, okay, I see what
but
you mean.
actually
It's the start of the problems.
yeah, it doesn't work this way. Yeah, on the contrary, it starts the problems.
Yeah.
So, and after the marriage, before the marriage, they didn't really love each other. How come they can get along well after the marriage?
Yeah,
Right,
it's
yeah.
not gonna.
Yeah,
It's
so,
just not gonna happen.
Actually, it's really bad for even. If they have a baby, if they have a baby,
Oh.
that's really really bad for this baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
No, when
It's
I-
sad for all the children.
Also, when I was in Shanghai, I remember going to the park, and what struck me as absolutely unbelievable, they have these kind of CVs of their children. So they're, my son does this, and he does this, and he does this, and he does this, and he's got this, and he's got so and so. Shanghai Hukao, and this job and this car. He's got an apartment in a nice area of Shanghai, and then there's not even a picture of some of them on there. It's like, I think, and this brings me to the point that it's almost here that a lot of the girls will put the money over even what the guy looks like. If I relate this to the UK, you look at dating programs in England, so they will ask questions about each other, and it will be questions like, does the guy have a nice ass? Has he got a fit body? Is his personality funny? Is he good looking? And yet in China, those same dating programs, like, where's his hukou? What's his salary? How much money does he have in the bank?
Exactly.
Does he own an apartment already?
Exactly.
And it's like way down on the list are actually what the guy looks like,
This happens especially in super cities like Shenzhen, Shanghai, Beijing, or Guangzhou, because I think people are driven crazy by money.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, this takes me to, do you think it might be a generational influence from being a little bit newer to coming, like, to being richer as a society as years have gone on?
Yeah,
compared to 50 years ago, so.
Yeah,
Sure,
because actually
definitely.
most wealthy Chinese have only been wealthy for a relatively short amount of time.
Comparing with 50 years ago, people now are way richer than before, and I think that's the main reason why girls are like this nowadays.
Right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because all the people around them, they got big apartment, they got fancy cars, and they got rich husbands. So if a girl, let's say if a girl and all of her friends around her, they got rich families, and they post the fancy pictures in their social media.
Yeah.
So this girl will naturally think, I should get the same life.
Okay. So it's kind of a domino effect on, and everyone's kind of jealous of these people.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
So the other statistic I find a bit crazy is that, especially in southern China, there's a lot more men than there are girls, women, and that's simply because of this sort of favoritism over the families wanting the boy. So you'd think that all the girls should easily be able to find boyfriends, yet there's still huge amounts of girls in their sort of mid to late 20s, attractive, who just don't have boyfriends. That would pretty much never happen in the UK. I see a lot of these girls here, there'd be literally guys queuing up to date them in England. Yeah, they're obviously too picky here. You know.
So let's say in England, if a guy he doesn't really have a rich family, and his job it's just okay, can he easily get a girlfriend?
Depending on a lot of his personality, his type. Yeah, absolutely.
He's fairly good looking. He's
yeah.
got a nice personality, no problem.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
But can he get a girl to get married?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think the looks and personality is put way above the economic status.
And there's not this thing about where, you know, it's kind of okay in the UK for the woman to earn more than the guy and have a better job. You know, it's not a major, massive thing, but there are a number of guys who are house husbands because the earning potential of the woman is much higher. So the woman goes out to work, the guy stays at home, does the housework, looks after the kids, does the shopping.
This is really interesting because here in China, if let's say me, if in the future I become a house husband, all of my friends, my relatives, people who know me, they will think, oh, you're useless. You're useless. You make your wife make money for you.
Have you ever heard of this happen with anyone you know or anyone you've surrounded yourself with?
Yeah, sure, man. Some people around me, they're like this.
Right.
Yeah, some of my older relatives, some of my peer.
Sorry, I mean a guy being the house husband.
Yeah, I know someone.
Oh, okay.
I know someone.
Okay.
So yeah.
So it does happen. It does happen still.
It happens here,
but it's
not that common.
Right.
Yeah, and if you want to be a house husband, you have to be prepared.
Right.
To
take that burden.
To take that burden.
Yeah.
Exactly. But is it okay for you to be a house husband in the UK?
I think it's okay. It's accepted. However, it's also whether the individual is happy being a house husband. Because personally speaking, I would want to develop my own career as well. So,
I think socially it's accepted.
Yeah.
But
whereas here it's not really, is it?
But will your friends make fun of you? That hey
No,
Lee, he's a house husband.
No, they actually kind of praise you, go, good on you, man. You got your wife working while you relax at home.
Yeah, I want to go to the UK. I want to live there to be a house husband, to make my wife make money for me. You know, here people generally they think it is a must for a man to make money,
to be the
to
provider.
raise their family, to be the provider. I really want to tell all the friends who are watching this video that we're not judging.
Of
No,
course.
absolutely.
Yeah,
No,
We're
absolutely.
not judging.
This is
Observing.
observations on our own
Observations, yeah.
experiences.
Because you know, I told some of my friends that foreigners, they think it's unbelievable that women in China, they're so obsessed with money. And the friend told me that okay, if you ask them to live in China for a while, for 23 years, they will become the same.
Maybe.
I told him,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true,
Yeah.
that's true.
Or maybe we become more like that. However, it's probably a lot down to the raising from a child as well, and the influence
it's the
from your
social
parents and
norms that
grandchildren.
you're exposed to, isn't it? The social things, like, you know, in China, that certainly mothers have a lot more to do with you know, relationships, their daughters and sons, than they would ever in the UK. So that rubs off on your thinking, you know. It's all.
Anyway, we've been going for 20 minutes or so now, so let's wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed.